everybody, welcome back to the Make It Up As I Grow podcast, where we talk about all things self-love, self-growth, and just navigating your 20s. I'm your host, Macy Klein. If you are new here, hello and welcome. If you've listened to my episodes before, welcome back. I'm so happy you guys are all here. So if you're watching on the YouTube side, I did something a little different to my hair. I got a trim. My hair's pretty short now, but I got a trim a little over a week ago. Got my fresh blonde, fresh highlights and all of that. And I got Conair hot rollers a couple years ago when my hair was longer and I had longer layers. And it looked really good on my hair back then. I did it a lot my senior year in college. And today I was like, you know what? I'm going to record an episode. Why don't I try the hot rollers on my short hair? And being a girl, sometimes it's dangerous to try something new when you're about to do something important. It's like when you try a new hairstyle right before you go out with your friends and you've never done it before. It's how this was today. It looks a lot better than it did when I first took out the hot rollers. My hair was out here, full afro. It was giving Shirley Temple, and that's not the type of hairstyle that looks good on me, but I think it looks better now. It's not my favorite, but I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. But we're going to go with it. I think it looks good, and we're just going to go with it. But I'm really excited to get into today's topic, just with being almost done with the first month of 2025, and so much has already happened in 2025. Let's talk about the TikTok ban, in air quotes, that lasted for 12 hours? I was gonna admit I was a little sad about it. When I was logged out of the app, it really brought me back to what my life was like when I first downloaded the app. I was a freshman in college, and my friends at the time were like, Macy, you have to download this app. And I'm like, it's so stupid. Why would I download that? It's just a bunch of stupid videos. And turns out those stupid videos have really done a number on me and my life. And people have started their businesses off of TikTok. They've made podcasts off of TikTok. And it's honestly been a very productive app. I know security and all of that, and like the Chinese stealing our information and whatnot, like that's absolutely a big issue. But I was really sad for those people who started their businesses on TikTok and the people that really put a lot of work into making a name for themselves and creating a brand for themselves, and they were making their living off of that app. And so when it did go dark, I don't have a whole lot of followers on TikTok. On my regular TikTok account, I think I have a little less than 300. And my podcast one, I am starting to post more on there, but I was honestly kind of sad because I started to get a lot more attention on my podcast through TikTok because I'd been posting a lot more on there. I think I have 30 followers, so not a whole lot, but my heart really went out to those people who made their living off of TikTok and who had worked really, really hard to get out of their toxic jobs and their toxic 9-to-5s and to really create something that was good for their income, but also good for their mental health. As you know, TikTok was such an outlet to be creative and fun, and it's such a fun environment. I kid you not, that night it was banned, I went to sleep feeling so lonely. And it's probably such a dumb thing to say, but I'm sure I'm not the only one that thought that. I went over to Instagram Reels, did not feel the same in the slightest. Did not feel the same, and I was so sad because TikTok is such a community of people, is how I choose to look at it. And a lot of people that watch my stuff, which again, I don't have a huge following, but the people that do really watch my videos and this dumb stuff I post, they're girls like me that are into the same things as me. My algorithm was perfect. I perfected my FYP. Like that, it was perfect. And it's just such a creative outlet for so many people. And going to Instagram was definitely a huge adjustment because it's like, oh my God, I know people on Instagram. I seriously felt lonely on Instagram Reels, especially because I had my For You page perfectly curated to what I like and the things that I want to be seeing. And I just felt so lonely when I went to bed that night because I couldn't get on TikTok and I couldn't listen to these people talk. Like, that might make me sound really lonely. It was a weird feeling. Like, that whole night was eerie, and I woke up the next morning and again felt very eerie. So I was like, no worries. Then I really started planning on how I was going to really up my Instagram game with my podcast and all of that. And I went in to go edit the episode that I had recorded and start editing some vlogs that I had already planned. Well, guess where I did that? CapCut. So I went into CapCut. That, I think, was when I really started to be like, oh shit, because that is where I edit my episodes, that is where I edit my vlogs, that is where I do everything, and I am not an advanced video editor. I'm learning slowly. CapCut, it was free, it was really easy to kind of mess around with, and so I think I was more upset about CapCut getting banned because that's where all my stuff was. The stuff that I had planned for my next episode, gone. Things that I had for my vlogs, gone. And I don't have a whole lot of storage on my phone. So the vlogs that I had, the clips and whatever, I deleted because I was like, well, they're on my computer. They are in CapCut. It's okay. No, so now, and they're gone on CapCut. And I was like, well, shit, what is going on? And I started researching all of these different editing apps. Normally, when I would go to look at the editing apps, figure out which ones I should be using, I would go on TikTok. And so I was like, well, crap, what am I supposed to do? I asked ChatGPT. I went to my favorite influencers on their Instagrams because I know everybody at that time was freaking out about CapCut, and because everybody uses it. And so I was looking out for those stories and whatnot, and finally it got back online. I was finally able to edit my episode. I was so happy. I think I was more upset about CapCut being gone than TikTok. So now I've understood that I'm going to start taking TikTok more seriously for the time being, as long as we still have it. I'm praying that we are able to keep the app alive for longer than 75 days or however long the executive order calls for. But I was a little sad, I will say, especially because there's so many memories. I have 1,000 drafts, and there's so many memories from 2020 to 2024. And a lot of them were of people that are no longer in my life. And it was a bittersweet moment when I was looking through my drafts and I was saving the ones that I wanted to keep on my phone and saving those memories of the people that I do still want to keep back in my subconscious. And so that was a very emotional weekend for me. I sound so dramatic, I know, go ahead and tell me, but I'm pretty sure I was not the only one freaking out about it. And also the influencers that went on there and they were posting to that sound, since we're all gonna die, there's one more secret I feel I have to share with you. When I started seeing that trend, I was like, you guys are gonna look real dumb when TikTok actually comes back to the light and you lose all your followers because you lied about not doing your workouts. You lied about not eating what you would eat in a day. You would just put it out. And I just, like, that whole concept actually drives me crazy. And sorry, I'm going to rant a little bit. That drives me crazy because so many people have relied on a lot of these influencers for inspiration, for that sense of comfort. And to find out that you lied to your audience is crazy. That is absurd. And what I think is so funny is most of these influencers that are famous on TikTok have a huge following on Instagram. So it's like, if TikTok got banned, what did you expect? You weren't just going to fall off the face of the earth. You still have Instagram. So that whole thing never made sense to me, but whatever. I didn't do anything stupid like that. One, because I have such a small following, I don't think anybody would care. But some of my favorite influencers that I did follow on TikTok, not to be mean, but I unfollowed a couple of them because I was like, what the heck? This is why I follow you. So I think that the influencers that did that and really spilled their guts and spilled the fact that they lied about their content, dumb move. Because like I said, if you have an Instagram following, what did you expect? You don't just fall off the face of the earth. You are still an influencer, just on a different platform. Anyways, I digress. Let's get into the actual episode today. So, if you couldn't tell by the topic of today's episode, I started off with the phrase, don't overthink it. And so I think I'm going to start doing more of a segment around that because there's so many things in navigating your 20s and your self-growth, your healing process that can be overwhelming, especially when you're hearing so many different things from so many different people, so many different resources. It's really hard to compartmentalize it into your life and figure out what works for you. And some of these things that might work for somebody might not work for you. I'm going to be doing more stuff around don't overthink it, dating and relationships, or don't overthink it, making friends, don't overthink it, doing your career, things like that. So I think I'm going to start doing that segment because I'm such an overthinker. And I've realized once you break certain things down, it's not as complicated and not as overwhelming as it may seem. So today we're going to be diving into just daily habits that will really enhance your mental and physical health. Just some things that I've done so far in 2025 that have really made a difference in my life. And I can tell that it's made a difference because I I've been taking a lot of selfies lately because I'm becoming more confident in how I look, and it's been a while since I felt that way. And I have lost a little bit of weight. My skin has cleared up, and I've noticed a lot little by little, because when I look at pictures from a few months ago or even a year ago and in between, I could tell how unhappy I was and how just my hair wasn't healthy and I was eating horribly and my face was so puffy. And so just things that I have done that are honestly quite simple, things I've done every single day to really enhance my physical and my mental health. And so I'm going to be walking you through all of that today, breaking down some of these things that can be overcomplicated most of the time. So let's get right into it. So I've talked a little bit about this on here, but I used to not script a ton of my episodes. I don't want to write a full script because I'm really good at winging things, and this is more of a conversation. I don't want to be reading off a piece of paper and acting like a robot to you guys. We're on FaceTime, we're on a phone call. This is not a formal setting. This is not super serious, just us chatting on FaceTime or phone call. And honestly, this is stuff I would talk to like my family and my best friends if I were on FaceTime with them. And if you know me, you know how much I love FaceTime. So with that being said, I started to take notes more so on different topics that I don't know absolutely everything about. And I've turned to different podcasts, books, just different resources, because as much as I can sit here and talk to you about these things, sometimes further research is necessary. And so I want the best for you guys. I want to give you the best information and the most valuable information that I possibly can. So that's why I started taking notes. So if I look over to the side, it's because I'm looking at my computer at my notes. So first order of business is the reason why I wanted to talk to you guys about this today is because for the first time in a very long time, it doesn't feel like a chore to take care of myself and to make healthier choices for myself. Because when I was growing up, if my parents told me to eat healthy or exercise, I was very resistant, because it's like, of course I'm going to be resistant. It's my parents. I'm the oldest daughter. I always think I'm right. Most of the time I am. Well, but I was very resistant whenever my parents would tell me something. And so as I've gotten older and I became an athlete, and once I stopped being an athlete, it was really hard to go and work out and go to the gym because, one, I didn't know what I was doing. Two, I had things planned out for me since as long as I can remember with playing basketball and meals and my workouts. I didn't really have a choice in what to do, and I just went with it. And it's taken me till about literally a few months ago to find what I absolutely love. And I've talked about it a couple times. I have a HotWorks membership. I'm addicted. I go every single day, sometimes twice a day. I will stack those workouts in the morning, and it's truly been the best thing ever. And I love leaving there just dripping in sweat because I feel like I did something for myself. And it's just been really amazing. And I'll get into that in a minute. But for the first time, it does not feel like a chore to take care of myself. I don't feel guilty about it. I don't know where that stemmed from. I'm working on finding the root of that. I've gone to therapy to try to figure that out, and there's a couple more things in my life that I'm trying to figure out, but that's neither here nor there. For the first time, I don't feel guilty about taking care of myself, which is such a good feeling and such a freeing feeling, because why wouldn't you want to take care of yourself? And for the longest time, and looking back, I cannot believe that it's taken me so long. I'm going to be 24 in less than a month. It's taken me this long to understand the importance of taking care of yourself and understanding that it's okay to do that for yourself. Crazy. And I understand that if you are doing this for the first time, it can feel like it feels different, because you're like, I have this sense of freedom that I haven't had in a while. So if you feel like that, I'm here, I'm with you. It's a weird feeling, but it's also so amazing. Just even before we get into this episode, how you take care of yourself is a direct reflection of how you feel about yourself. No questions asked there, because in the moments where I hated myself, I was not taking care of myself. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't eating good. I was out drinking all the time. And when I drank, I'd want McDonald's or Taco Bell, and I gained a bunch of weight. I was not doing anything for my mental health. I just put a pause on everything that I knew was going to be good for me. Why? I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't give you a solid reason. But now that I'm here and I feel so different, I feel so great about myself because I've taken the time to take care of myself. It's such a freeing feeling. It's so much fun. And you find different things that you love and you feel confident. And this is how you build confidence, is you finally start doing things for yourself and you realize you are valuable. You do have things to offer this world. Hopefully by the end of this episode, you're going to take those steps so you can get to that point in your life where you feel so free taking care of yourself and you feel good and you're exuding confidence. And when you exude confidence, everything just happens for you. So I'm very excited to walk you through these things today. Whether you've already done this for 2025, you're kind of easing into it, whatever your case might be, the first thing I want you to do before we really get into the habits and all of that, the first thing I want you to do is I just want you to visualize and maybe write it down, maybe put it together on Pinterest. I've done all of the above. Think about the person that you want to become. And if you listen to any of Mel Robbins' podcasts, this is going to be huge. I'm going to reference her a lot in this podcast because I've learned so much from her. Truly, she has really changed my life. I actually asked her to be a guest on my podcast, which is such a reach because I'm so little. So we'll see, fingers crossed. That would be amazing. But she said in one of her podcasts, just act like the person you want to become. Think of the person you want to become. What do their habits look like? What does their daily routine look like? What do they eat? What do they look like? Where do they live? All of those aspects. What do they do for work? Visualize that person, put it together, and just start acting like that person. Act like the person you want to become. And it's not necessarily fake it till you make it, but it's just acting as if you already have the things that you want. And when you do that, you start to attract those things that you want. So before you really start getting into these daily habits, because this is the foundation of it all, is to just really think about the person that you want to become and start acting like that person. Think of your dream woman that you want to become. Make sure it's somebody that you want to look up to. That's also very important, is make sure this person that you want to become is somebody you can also look up to and just start acting like her. If your dream person gets up early in the morning, reads the Bible, journals, goes to the gym, gets a smoothie or a coffee afterwards, do it, because that is how you start to develop those habits that your dream person has. That's how your dream person gets those habits, is when you start them today. I feel like that's such a basic, oh, well, no shit concept, but it's the truth, and not a lot of people understand that, because it's easy to set goals and think, oh, one day I'll get there. Well, how are you going to start doing that today? So in the future, you can look back and be like, wow, I really did that for myself. So now let's get into those habits. Starting off with some things that I have done every single day that have truly made a difference in my life. Again, the Mel Robbins morning routine. If you haven't heard about it, do not hit that snooze button. Do not hit the snooze button. She says to count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up. I don't do that, but it's strongly recommended. I keep my phone on the opposite side of my bed. Actually, right here on my dresser behind me. That's my alarm, is my phone. I set it away from me, so when I get up in the morning, my alarm goes off, I am up. I have to physically get up out of my bed and turn off my alarm. And after I do that, I go into my bathroom, I splash my face with cold water, and I make my bed so I don't get back into it. Boom. I do those things so I stay awake, so I don't crawl back into my bed. The cold water really wakes you up. I also ice roll my face. I have an ice roller in my freezer, and that really helps wake me up. Mel Robbins explained in her podcast that when you snooze your alarm, you're putting yourself in sleep inertia. So what that is when your alarm goes off, you wake up. And when you go and snooze your alarm and you fall back asleep, for that 9 minutes, your body resets its sleep cycle. So when your alarm goes off 9 minutes later, your brain just tried to process an 8-hour sleep schedule in 9 minutes. And notice how tired you feel whenever you snooze your alarm. You're tired, you're groggy. It's because you just interrupted an 8-hour sleep cycle after being in it for 9 minutes. So once I learned that, I was like, ooh, that doesn't sound good. I'm giving myself sleep inertia. So when I started setting my alarm and putting it across my bed, but I turn off my alarm, and first couple seconds, you're just like, oh my gosh, this sucks. I'm so tired. But I'm kid you not, 5, maybe 10 minutes go by and I'm wide awake. And I notice that difference instantly. I don't get tired throughout the day anymore. And you'd think that if you slept a little bit more, you wouldn't be tired throughout the day. But when I wake up and I am up and I don't hit snooze, and then I tested this out a couple times because I'm like, maybe I just was feeling extra energetic this morning. So I would try it again. The next morning, I did snooze my alarm, and I was so tired the whole rest of the day. And I'm like, I think this works. I think Mel's onto something here. So I highly recommend you guys start doing that. If you aren't already, please start doing that. Do not hit snooze and fall back asleep, please. Next one is just developing a good morning routine. I have perfected my morning routine. I love it. I absolutely love it. Back to what I was talking about earlier with my HotWorks membership. I schedule my workouts very early in the morning. Even when I don't have a whole lot to do throughout the day, honestly feels good to leave my house when it's dark out, and when I'm coming home from working out, the sun is rising. So pretty. I've taken so many pictures and so many videos of it. And I have become a morning person because of the alarm setting and getting up, splashing my face with cold water. I am awake, and what better way to start off the day than moving your body and moving your mind? So, walking you through my morning routine. Why not? So once I turn off my alarm, I splash my face with cold water, I make my bed, I read my Bible, I do a daily devotional, and then I journal like what I'm grateful for, how I'm feeling, what I'm manifesting, what I'm like / what I'm praying for, and what are today's goals. That's the prompt I use to journal every morning is 3 things I'm grateful for, 3 feelings that I'm feeling at the moment, 5 things I'm manifesting or praying for, and then 3 goals for that day. So once I have that all squared away, Bible is read, devotional is done, I put on my workout set and I head out the door. I don't eat anything before I work out. I've never done that because I always feel like I'm going to hurl. This is different for everybody. But I don't eat anything, so that's also why I work out pretty early in the morning, because I'm not hungry that early in the morning, because I cannot eat that early anyways. So when I get up, I'll typically leave my house between, depending on what I have going on that day, I'll leave my house between 6:15, 6:50. This morning I left at my house at 6:50 because I had a 7:15 to 8:15 workout. So I did that. And once I leave HotWorks and I'm drenched in sweat, best feeling ever. And then I'll come home, I'll make my coffee and my breakfast, and then I will go about my day. Sometimes I leave from HotWorks and I'll shower there and get ready there, and then I'll go straight from there to work, and I'll have my stuff meal prepped the night before, all that stuff. But that's my morning routine, and I absolutely love it. I cannot wait for it every single morning. And when my alarm goes off, I look forward to doing those things. And that also helps you a lot when you're tired and you're like, I am excited to do this. I'm excited to read my book. I'm excited to journal. I'm excited to read my Bible, go to the gym, whatever it is. So developing a morning routine that you love. And I highly suggest that within your morning routine, you are doing something for your mind and your body, your spiritual health, all of that, because that is going to be the key to a very productive day. This one is a little bit more on the pricier side. And I know I said don't overthink it. These are simple habits. But if you haven't, I highly suggest you go to the doctor and get a food sensitivity test. I want to say about 3 years ago, I sneeze constantly. And I also learned that sneezing is related to your gut health. I have tummy issues. I'm a girl. I have tummy issues. There are some things that I can't have. I can have them that just won't feel good, like us all. I went to an allergist and I took a food sensitivity test. And there were a lot of things that I was consuming every single day that I thought were healthy, but were actually ruining my gut. And once I knew that, I could really pinpoint what meals I should be eating, what I should be drinking, things I should be consuming on a regular basis that are actually going to help my gut. For example, I am sensitive to, and this hurt when I found this out, you guys, it was so sad. Oh, I almost cried. I'm very sensitive to eggs. I love eggs. I love hard-boiled eggs. I love a good omelet. I'm also sensitive to avocados. I love avocados. I love avocado toast. I love guacamole. This one hurt. I'm very sensitive to coffee. I love coffee so much. And what I learned, and you could tell at that time, I was very bloated. I was very puffy. My face was broken out, and I would drink so much water, and I thought I was eating healthy. And I was like, what's going on with my skin? I was eating avocado toast with eggs and a coffee every single morning. Boom, right there. I was hurting my gut. So I had to back off of it for a while, which was sad. I started drinking green tea more often in the mornings, and I still do that. Not every single morning, because I still love my coffee. I will still drink it. I do not care. But I just have to pace myself and limit how many coffees I have a day, because I was drinking them a lot at the time, every single morning before I ate anything. So I highly recommend that you take a food sensitivity test and just figure out what foods are hurting your gut, because you could think that you're eating great foods and you're eating healthy foods, but sometimes what might work for others isn't working for you. So I highly recommend that you figure that out, because if you're like me and you're like, well, I'm eating healthy, I'm eating good foods, I'm eating healthy foods that I should be eating, why am I still puffy? Why am I still bloated? Why am I still breaking out? So I highly recommend you take a food sensitivity test and try to figure out what foods are hurting your gut. And when you figure that out, keep your diet clean and simple. This is where ChatGPT comes in very handy. ChatGPT makes my grocery list for me every single week, and chef's kiss, love it. When you are developing your healthy eating plan, your healthy eating regimen, I don't like using the word diet, so we're not going to use that on here. Nope, absolutely not. I think that is such a toxic word. You don't need to overcomplicate it. You don't need to overcomplicate your clean meals. Drinking water is going to be so essential for you. In your day-to-day life, making sure that you have 3 daily wins. You have a mental win, a physical win, and a spiritual win. However that might look for you, make sure you are doing something every single day that is catering to your mental health, your physical health, and your spiritual health. Cycle syncing. I've been cycle syncing for about a month because a couple months ago, I'm almost 24. I got my first period when I was 12. How did I not know that there's 4 phases to your cycle? I didn't know that. And I didn't realize that there was different things in each phase of your cycle to be eating and doing that help regulate your hormones. And I know a lot of people with PCOS do that to regulate their hormones so they can, eventually get pregnant, because a lot of people with PCOS can't get pregnant. I'm not an expert on that. That's just what I know. But I didn't realize that there were 4 phases to your cycle. Well, no wonder I feel out of whack half the time. Makes sense. So I've done a little bit more research on that, and I'm going to do a separate episode on that because I think that that's incredibly important, and I don't feel so out of whack. Obviously, when your period comes, you're going to feel like shit no matter what. And if you are one of those people that don't have painful periods, I'm jealous. I'm very envious of you because mine are horrible. Anyways, I feel like I'm just blabbing on here today, but woo, I feel great. So anyways, embracing your boredom. When you don't have anything to do, embrace it. Figure something out, read a new book. Whenever I'm bored, I hop on Canva and I just create like a mad woman because I love Canva. I could sit on there all day. Wish I got paid to sit on Canva for hours and just make different designs. I'd be rich by now because I love it. Listening to new podcasts, like I said, reading a book, exploring different interests. Maybe you explore a different kind of workout. Maybe you cook a new recipe. Embrace boredom because it happens. You get bored. And sometimes it's just good to sit there and be bored. You don't have to be moving constantly. Those are just things that I've implemented into my life every day since the beginning of the year that have really made a difference for me. So don't overthink it. Do not overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it, including me. You're going to hear so much about what you should be doing for your mental health, what you should be doing for your physical health. You should be doing this. You should be moving your body like this. You should be getting 10K steps a day. I trust a lot of people, I do, but sometimes it can be very overwhelming because there have been so many times where I'm like, okay, this worked for this person, but this didn't work for this person, and I don't know if it's going to work on me, and I don't know if I do try this, if it's going to hurt me or if it's going to help me, that kind of thing. So going into the daily habits that are very simplified, things you can be doing in your everyday, not overcomplicating it, but like I've already touched on, building a good morning routine. That just sets the tone for the rest of your day. And honestly, in my own morning routine, it keeps me so energized for the rest of the day. It just sets the tone for how your day is going to go. And I highly suggest that you develop a good morning routine. And you can switch it up from time to time. And honestly, my morning routine will probably change when summer rolls around or when spring rolls around, like a seasonal morning routine. So it might change, and that's okay. You're fully allowed to change that. Be flexible with it, but get a morning routine. Give yourself something to look forward to waking up to. Daily movement is so essential for both your physical and mental health. I couldn't tell you how many times I have been in such like a rut and I have felt such a mental fog, and I go work out and it like poof, disappears. And when you exercise and you're doing something for your body naturally releases dopamine and serotonin, which are your happy and your energy hormones. And it just sets the tone for the rest of your day. Especially when I work out in the morning. I do not work out in the evening. If I don't work out in the morning, I'm not working out that day. I will gladly get up a little bit earlier and go in the morning, like it's fine. Find out what you're sensitive to and really work your meals around that. Keep them simple. You don't need to overcomplicate it. I know some of these people on TikTok that create these recipes. Eating healthy doesn't have to be boring. sometimes boring is good because you're getting your essential nutrients. You don't have to eat chicken and rice and broccoli all the time. Like, switch it up, but make sure that you stick to what you can eat. And seriously, ask ChatGPT to help you create meals with the foods that you aren't sensitive to. Foods you can eat. Ask ChatGPT to make you a grocery list. Ask ChatGPT to help you plan meals. I use ChatGPT for literally everything. I've used it for my grocery list. I'll literally type in there, can you make a Trader Joe's grocery list with a budget of $50 for 2 weeks, 3 meals a day, excluding, eggs, avocados, milk, whatever it is, and it will make it for me. Or, I'll tell it, I'm in a calorie deficit. I'm trying to lose weight. What are some good, easy, simple, boring meals that I can make? And it'll tell me, and I have a whole list. And I've honestly seen a huge difference in my health ever since I've been doing it. So again, keep it simple. Sometimes boring is good when it comes to your health. Just don't overthink it. Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. Take your supplements. Check with your doctors. Don't order your supplements off of TikTok. They could be the same ones that are in a pharmacy or in a drugstore. Don't order them off TikTok. You don't know where they're coming from. That scares me. I've ordered a lot off of TikTok Shop. I will never order supplements off of there. Absolutely not. That freaks me out. But every morning I take a water pill because it helps with water weight. I also take a probiotic. I am going to start looking into digestive enzymes to really help digest my food because I do have some bloating problems and I do have some gut issues, and I'm starting to kind of research that a little bit more. And then at night I take my magnesium. Super simple. I don't jack myself up on a bunch of pills and supplements, but things that are going to help you, I think, again, keep it simple and keep it to a minimum, because I can't sit here and tell you which supplements to take because I am not a health expert by any means. But just keep it simple. Again, don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. Drink your water. I have not drank a single pop this year. That was one of my goals for not the whole year. I don't think I could go the whole year. I probably could if I really wanted to, but I don't want to. I love Diet Coke. I love Diet Coke and I love Dr. Pepper. I have not had a Diet Coke or a Dr. Pepper or any kind of pop so far this year. I've been drinking a ton of water, a ton of tea because I'm trying to heal my gut. And it's honestly, I feel great. It feels great. Drink your water. I have my Yeti. I think this is 30 ounces, but I'm constantly drinking water. And also that was a really good opportunity to show you guys my water bottle because my throat's a little dry. But I probably drink about 3 or 4 of those a day. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, I just showed my cute little pink Yeti. Please drink your water. Mind movement every single day. Listen to a podcast, read a book, listen to an audio book, read your Bible, whatever it is. Do something for your mind every single day. One thing that I love that helps with your gut and digestion and eating and kind of breaking down the different proteins inside of you is drinking peppermint tea before bed. It's like nature's Ozempic. A lot of people say green tea is. Green tea and peppermint tea are 2 teas that I drink every single day. I drink green tea in the morning and I drink peppermint tea at night to kind of help digest all the food that I ate all day. And I drink hot green tea on an empty stomach so it kind of breaks up the things, the bacteria and all that stuff in my stomach before I do eat throughout the day. So peppermint and green tea are going to be such great, natural supplements. Fix your sleep schedule. You need about 7 to 8 hours of sleep. You cannot be one of those people that goes to bed at 3 a.m. and wakes up at like 10 and complains about how tired they are. Even though that's 7 hours, your prime sleeping hours are between 10 and 6 a.m. So make sure you are developing a good sleep schedule, because I saw this video on TikTok that this guy was like, hate to break it to you guys, but the people that said to fix your sleep schedule, they were right. Like, I don't feel as crappy throughout the day. Like, fix your sleep schedule. If you need to get up at 6 a.m., go to bed at 10, maybe a little earlier. If you're going to get up at 5, go to bed at 9. You have to kind of balance, and you'll have to sacrifice some valuable TikTok scrolling time at night. I know, don't hate me, hate to break it to you, but fix your sleep schedule and making sure you are getting to 7 to 8 hours of sleep, because Sleep replenishes your mind. Sleep replenishes your body. Please make sure you are getting enough sleep at night. When you are developing these habits and you're implementing these habits in your everyday, remember your why. Remember why you're doing this for yourself. Remember why you want to take care of yourself. You should be taking care of yourself because you want to. But for me, it's been so long since I've done this. I owe it to myself. Like, I literally owe it to myself to take care of myself. And to be honest with you guys, I have always been insecure about my body. I hate my arms and I hate my stomach. I have always hated both of those things about me. And I look back in high school when I thought my stomach was huge. And I was like, okay, no, I was really skinny. Like, what was I thinking? And so whenever I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym. Yeah, I do. When I put on a bikini this summer, like, I want to actually, like, love what I look like. That's my why. And I want to do it so I'm healthier. I just want to be healthier. It's because I want to look in the mirror in a couple months and say to myself, I'm so proud of you for sticking to this, even though it was so hard in some moments. You look great. And I just want to look healthy. Like, I want to be healthy. That is my goal, is I'm not trying to shave off a ton of weight for like unhealthy reasons, but because I want to feel confident and I want to feel healthy in my own body. That's my why. And so when you are going through these tough moments where you feel like you don't want to eat good, you don't want to exercise, you don't want to open your Bible, you don't want to read anything, you are just only hurting yourself. And every time you don't read your book, every time you don't eat a healthy meal, every time you don't go to the gym, you are telling yourself that you don't care about yourself. I know that's really hard hitting. I heard that the other day and was like, ooh, that hurts. So love yourself enough to take care of yourself even when you don't feel like it, because those are the moments that are going to make you stronger. Just do something every day that's going to make your future self proud. Because let me tell you, I wish I could go back to talk to Macy about a year ago and be like, all right, let's get our shit together. Let's go. It's time. And I wish that I would have started doing this sooner. I wish I would have taken the time to heal certain things in my life earlier. I wish I would have taken the time to eat healthier and find workouts that I love and work for me and all of that. So just start today. If you take anything away from this episode, start today. Whatever it is, it could be so small. Just start doing it today because your future self is going to thank you. And just do something every day that makes you happy. You don't have to overcomplicate it. You don't have to overthink this. Morning routine, daily movement, daily mind movement, peppermint tea, simple, clean, and healthy meals, sleep, consistency, remembering your why, doing it for your future self, and doing something that makes you happy. Please. Oh, please. Just a reminder, for your health and wellness journey, it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be complicated. If you just incorporate these different things that I've talked to you about today, you start small. You don't have to just pile all of this stuff in tomorrow, but just start small. Maybe start with a workout. Start with figuring out your meals for the week. Pick up a new book, listen to a new podcast, all of that. And just remember, how you treat yourself is a direct reflection of how you feel about yourself. You owe it to yourself to love yourself enough to want better for yourself. So I highly encourage you, please do these things in your day-to-day routine. They are going to help you. I'm not a health expert. I am not a fitness expert. I am not a nutrition expert. But these are just simple, small stepping stones to help you become a healthier, happier version of yourself. So I'm going to end this episode here. I just want you to know that I love you. I am proud of you. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I am so grateful for all of you guys, for all of your love and all of your support. I also do want to apologize again for not posting an episode on Friday. I swear, every single time I try to go and post an episode on Friday, something happens. I was not feeling good at all. I just kept getting headaches and migraines, and I was so cranky. I was just not feeling very good, and I just was really excited to get into this episode today. So I will actually be posting an episode on Friday because I'm going to record that actually later today, if not tomorrow. So with that being said, again, I love you. I am so proud of you. Make sure you are following the Make It Up As I Grow podcast on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, and I will talk to you guys on Friday. Mwah.